Most people think Spider Man Brand New Day is just another movie about Peter Parker. But, boss, it isn't. It's actually a total masterclass in how filmmakers use light, silence, and real world physics to pull the audience right into the character's messed up mental state. When the film released in July 2026, it didn't just make a massive $927 million globally. It completely destroyed that flat, overly bright, fake CGI look we have been forced to watch for the last 10 years. How? By treating a superhero movie like a dark psychological thriller. So, hey everybody, I am Ritika Dua and welcome to Anigrammics. Today, we are bringing real life film theory and digital animation together. We aren't going to bore you with software talk, buttons, or rendering stuff. Whether you are a student, an animator, a director, or just a hardcore movie fan, we are going to decode 5 amazing filmmaking techniques from Brand New Day that will completely change how you watch and create visual stories. We won't just tell you what the filmmakers did, we'll show you why they did it and how they play with the audience's mind. So, chapter number 1, the power of not cutting. See, to understand the visuals, we first need to get the story. The stakes in Brand New Day aren't about saving the world, they are deeply personal. After No Way Home, Peter Parker is completely isolated. MJ and Ned are living their best lives at MIT, leaving Peter all alone in the shadows of New York with zero backup. But here's what almost nobody notices. The most emotional scene in the movie completely breaks the basic rules of big budget editing. Look at this super tense scene between Peter and MJ. Notice what the director isn't doing. The camera simply doesn't cut. Usually in big movies, director constantly cut between close-ups to forcefully create energy. But here, director Destin Daniel locks this scene into one long, unbroken shot of the two of them. Why? Because cutting gives the audience a chance to breathe. By not cutting, the director forces us to sit through that painful, awkward silence between MJ and Peter. MJ represents his lost past. By using an 85mm portrait lens and a super low f1.8 aperture, the cameraman blurs the background entirely, making us feel just as trapped in Peter's head as he is. Animators and filmmakers, pay attention. You don't always need crazy camera angles to make a scene interesting. We have this bad habit of over animating, making characters move their hands and shift their weight too much while talking. Just stop. In emotional stories, silence and stillness are often much louder than motion. Make your audience feel the heavy silence. Great directors don't move cameras, they move emotions. So here comes the chapter number 2, the gravity of action. Now let's talk about action. You have probably seen tons of artists copying famous comic book poses, but honestly, doing that actually kills the energy. A comic cover is just a freeze frame. If you just copy paste a static pose into your video, the momentum dies right there. The director had the studio covered with hundreds of classic comic covers, but he didn't treat them like standard storyboards. Instead, they used a trick I like to call the 10-second rule. They figured out the exact energy needed to get into that pose and the momentum needed to get out of it. They allowed the camera to track continuous, real world momentum. Imagine if this scene didn't have that natural gravity pulling him down. It would look totally fake and still. When planning an action scene, don't just focus on the main hero pose. Ask yourself, what was happening 10 seconds before and 10 seconds after? You need to map out the build up, the muscles compressing, the jump, then the landing, and pull out of gravity. That is how you make action feel heavy and real. So here comes the chapter number 3, weaponized darkness. Okay, so movement feels real, but how do you make the environment feel heavy and oppressive? For the last 10 years, big movies have had this flat, super bright look where you can clearly see every single thing in the room. Brand New Day completely destroyed that trend by treating darkness like a weapon. Cinematographer completely rejected that flat digital look. Notice how the streets aren't fully lit up. He purely relies on realistic local lights. yellow street lights, harsh blue neon signs, and blinding car headlights. What feeling would go away if this scene was fully lit? The feeling of being trapped. The color grading makes sure the shadows drop to pure black, hiding the background completely. By only focusing on the bright spots, the silhouette does all the talking. Psychologically, this isolates Peter. It takes away his world and traps him in his own mind. Filmmaking lesson: whether you are making a short film or animating a scene, stop being afraid of the dark. You don't need to show the audience everything. Hiding things in the frame is just as powerful as showing them. Darkness isn't just a lack of light, it's visual storytelling. Now it's time for chapter number 4, the psychology of imperfection. Alright, now you have perfect lighting and perfect motion, but there is a movement in the action scenes that completely tricks your brain. You didn't even notice the VFX, and that was exactly the plan. Since the director comes from a background of making indie films, he wanted real practical stunts on set. But obviously, superhero jumps need some digital help. To fix this, they mastered the invisible handoff, a trick where a real stuntman is swapped with a CGI character right in the middle of the action. Ever wonder why bad CGI looks so fake to us? Because it's too perfect. Computers create perfect pixels, but human eyes don't see like that. The secret of blending real life and animation isn't just matching the light, it's about matching the flows of a real camera lens. You have to perfectly match the motion blur and add that raw film grain on top. Filmmaking lesson: when our brain sees those continuous camera imperfections, it stops doubting the image. It just accepts the CGI as real life. Remember, being too perfect is the biggest enemy of looking real. Now, time for chapter number 5, audio-driven rhythmic decay. We have talked about the visuals, but the most haunting part of this movie isn't something you see, it's something you hear, and it actually controls how fast Spider-Man moves. Composer created a very controlled background score that completely ignores the usual loud superhero music. He knew Peter Parker was basically a ghost in his own city, so he broke down the classic Spider-Man theme. Just listen to the track. It's Suit New Day. It's just a lonely piano that perfectly captures Peter's emotional burnout. This slowing down of the music decides the entire rhythm of the movie. It heavily impacts the editing space and how sluggish and heavy Peter's movements get when he feels defeated. Now comes the filmmaking lesson. Pacing isn't just about how fast you cut a video, it's heavily controlled by your audio track. If the music slows down, the motion must slow down. When a character's physical weight and sadness perfectly match the sad, offbeat music, the audience can literally feel that exhaustion. Sound design decides physical weight. Spider-Man Brand New Day hits so hard because every single technical filmmaking choice perfectly matches the mental state of the hero. We covered the unbroken 2 shot for emotional tension, the 10-second rule for action momentum, pure black shadows for isolation, the invisible handoff for realism, and audio-driven pacing for emotional weight. Now here is a challenge for you all. Take these techniques out of the theater and apply them to your own work. Try telling a great story using just a silhouette, a single light, and complete silence. Don't just watch films, decode them with Enigramix. Thank you so much. If you are still here and watching, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Enigramix and press the bell icon. You guys are very smart, you already know why. So bye bye. Thank you. See you in the next Enigramix masterclass. Bye bye.